Namaste. A very warm welcome to the TSDSI Hall of Fame 2021 Awards ceremony. The TSDSI Hall of Fame, instituted in 2019, recognizes individuals who have contributed towards the growth of TSDSI in an impactful manner in technical, organization building, or for championing its cause in the ecosystem. The Hall of Fame 2021 awardees, selected by a jury from the set of nominations received earlier, were finalized in October 2021. The awardees are being felicitated today in this ceremony. I am Bindu Srivastava, responsible for Marcom and Partner Relations at TSDSI, and I, along with my colleagues, Mr. Asif Iqbal, Ms. Shefali Sinha, Ms. Sonia Sachdev Sharma, and Mr. Sushovan from CDOT, are your hosts for this event. Before we begin, here are a few hygiene announcements. The event is being recorded and will be posted to the TSDSI website in the next few days. All attendees are requested to kindly remain on mute. We have the distinguished honor to have with us today Mr. Ashok Kumar Mittal, Member Services, Digital Communication Commission, Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General, International Telecommunication Union, Mr. N.G. Subramaniam, Chair TSDSI and Chief Operating Officer, Tata Consultancy Services, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Dr. Kumar Sivarajan, and Professor Abhay Karandikar, former chairs TSDSI, Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, TSDSI Outreach Committee Co-Chair and Executive Director CDOT, and Mr. N.K. Goel, Chairman, Telecom Equipment Manufacturers Association. Thank you, sirs, very much for joining the event. We will now begin the proceedings with a welcome address by Mr. N.G. Subramaniam, Chair TSDSI and Chief Operating Officer TCS. Mr. N.G. Subramaniam is also the Executive Director of, is also the Chairman of Tata Elxsi Limited. NGS has been a part of TCS and the Indian IT industry for the past 39 years. He has played a strategic role in several landmark initiatives that TCS undertook across banking, telecom, and public services globally. Mr. Subramaniam, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bindu. Distinguished guests, my TSDI colleagues and friends, greetings, and let me wish you all a great start to the new year. On behalf of TSDSI, it's my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to Sri Ashok Kumar Mittal, Member Services, Digital Communication Commission, Government of India, Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General, International Telecommunication Union, Professor N.K. Goel, Chairman, Telecom Equipment Manufacturers Association of India, Sri Rajesh Kumar Pathak, Sri Rajkumar Upadhyay, past chairs of TSDSI, Dr. Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Dr. Abhay Karandikar, Dr. Kumar Sivarajan, industry colleagues, to this third TSDSI Hall of Fame Awards ceremony. At the outset, I also would like to thank Sri Mittal and Mr. Johnson for making time to join this ceremony as the chair and chief guest respectively for this awards felicitation ceremony. We are privileged to be working in a sector which offers almost unlimited potential. Telecom technology is playing an important role in digitization of businesses across verticals, be it education, healthcare, transportation, energy, etc. And 5G will further enhance this cause, integrating analytics on the edge, IoT, and private networks. There are significant opportunities to build solutions that can aggregate capabilities to deliver value that in turn will rapidly advance social and economic development. In this context, continuous innovation on networks, machine-to-machine communications, security, and sustainability are major themes for collaboration and standards development. As India's telecom SDO, TSDSI strives hard to enable this and achieve a degree of excellence in each one of these areas. TSDSI Hall of Fame Awards was instituted in the year 2019 to felicitate annually individuals who have made outstanding efforts, technical contributions, or accomplishments in the field of telecommunications or for institutional building as it applies to the charter and cause of TSDSI. They are facilitated, they are felicitated and recognized as TSDSI fellows. Today, 7th January, is the 8th anniversary of the establishment of TSDSI as India's telecom SDO. It's an apt day for celebrating individuals who have contributed to the cause of the telecom industry globally and its standards therein. On that note, I once again welcome all of you and thank you for joining us as we celebrate our people and their leadership. Thank you very much. Over to you, Bindu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Subramaniam, for the welcome remarks. We now begin with the awards session, being chaired by Shri Ashok Kumar Mittal, Member Services, Digital Communications Commission. Shri Ashok Kumar Mittal, currently serving as Member Services of Digital Communications Commission, Government of India, is an ITS telecom professional with over 36 years of experience. He has played important roles in the Digital India Program, National Broadband Mission, Gati Shakti Initiative, and reforms in the telecom sector. The awards will be given away by Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General, ITU. May I request Mr. N.K. Goyal, President, CMAI and Chairman Emeritus, Telecom Equipment Manufacturers Association, TEMA, to kindly introduce Mr. Johnson. And thank you very much, Mr. Goyal, for assisting TSDSI and organizing today's event.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy to introduce Dr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General, ITU, since 2014. He was re-elected in 2019. Prior to that, he was Director of Standardization Bureau from 2007. And Malcolm is more Indian than any one of us. I think his first visit to India was in 1990. And we are missing his visit to India because of COVID days. Let us hope that he come back. During the Malcolm's time, one of the biggest things for India has been opening up of the ITU office in India. We look forward for your support, Malcolm, for everything to us. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goyal, for introducing Mr. Johnson. I would now request Dr. Kumar Sivarajan, the first chairperson of TSDSI and Chief Technology Officer, Tejas Networks Limited, to kindly introduce the awardees of the TSDSI Hall of Fame 2021. Dr. Kumar, a fellow of the Indian National Academy of Engineering, has nearly 3 decades of experience in the field of telecommunications. In 2000, he also received the Swarna Jayanti Fellowship from the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Dr. Kumar, request you to kindly introduce the awardees, please.
Thank you, Bindu. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's a pleasure to introduce the awardees for today. First, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy is the Director of IIT Madras and the Honorary Director for CVIT. He's a Fellow of INAE and IEEE. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy conceptualized the need for India to have its own telecom SDO. This was about 10 years ago, even though today is the 8th anniversary of TSDSI. He galvanized the government, industry, and academia to set up TSDSI. He was the founding member of TSDSI, and he represented both CVIT and IIT Madras in TSDSI. In his term as the third chairman of TSDSI, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy grew TSDSI from a startup to a vibrant SDO, making its mark on the global stage. In addition, he has been the mentor for all the key technical contributors in TSDSI, whether they're from IITs or from CVIT, especially all of those contributions that were made to 5GI, which has now been merged with 5G. His areas of specialization are communications and signal processing, and his research work is in wireless networks, modulation, wireless data, and audio and video compression. Most importantly, he's a teacher for many of us in TSDSI, including me. So it's a real pleasure to introduce him today. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy is the TSDSI Hall of Fame 2021 champion for his leadership role in catalyzing the government, industry, and academia to set up TSDSI and for steering it successfully through its startup phase to become a globally respected SDO. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy.
Thank you very much, sir, for introducing Professor Yes, thank you, sir. So we are doing this ceremony virtually. So, Mr. Johnson, just to inform you, the award plaques have already been delivered to the awardees, and Professor Bhaskar is now displaying his award. And may I request the host to kindly move the slide to the awards plaque, please? Sonia, can you please move the... Thank you. May I request Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy to kindly give an acceptance speech, sir?
Thank you, Bindu. Am I audible? Just quick check.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Thank you. Shri Mittal, Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Mr. N.G. Subramaniam, all the other, my colleagues and friends who are present today. So I'm honored and delighted to receive this recognition from TSDSI. It's really, I have two children in the conventional sense. This is the third child. Okay. So as was mentioned in the citation, something that many of us felt that India needed very badly, even before 2010, when we started actively trying to set this up. We were not wrong, because as you can see today, especially in the context of this pandemic, the crucial role telecommunications, particularly wireless telecommunications, is playing in keeping things ticking here in India, whether it's transfer of vital funds to poor people, whether it is the vaccination program, whatever it is. It's becoming or the online continuation of some form of online education for our school children, even now estimates are that some 30 or 40% of the kids are not really having a proper connectivity to learn. But it would have been zero but for what has happened in the last few years. So and therefore it tells us how important this is for 1.4 billion people living in this country. And telecom networks and perform only as well and perform only the functions that they are developed for, that the standards are developed for. So it's very important for India to be part of the standardization process, to make sure that the vital needs of a country of a country as large and as diverse as India, and probably representing the needs of several other countries in the world who are in a similar position, are also represented and adequately addressed in standardization. In a way, I'm also very pleased that in this whole, the last few years, we were able to make an important contribution in ITU by way of the LMLC use case, and also contribute to the standard to ensure that the performance for that use case is as good as we can make it at this point in time. And I'm sure the LMLC use case is going to be addressed better and better as we go ahead. And there'll be several others like this that I'm sure will come from TSDSI. It's really an organization that the sapling has really rooted very well. It's now visibly a tree. I think it's still a tree that requires some nurturing. It's not yet grown into a sturdy banyan tree the way we have in India, which probably you can even forget about. It'll be there even after you're long gone. But it's not yet there, but I think it's getting there. I'm very, very happy to have been part of the team that enabled this to happen. I'm very thankful to the jury and all my peers for recognizing me today. It's very, very high. I cherish this a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ramamurthy. I now request Dr. Kumar to kindly introduce the next awardee.
Thank you,
Host,
Bindu.
please. Yeah. Host, please move the slide to the next awardee, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Bindu. It's a pleasure to introduce Pathak ji. Mr. R.K. Pathak is the Deputy Director General, International Cooperation in the Department of Telecom, Government of India. He is also Secretary of TEPC, which is the Telecom Exports Promotion Council, and also Director of TCOE India. Mr. Pathak is the Nodal Officer for implementation of 5G technology in DOT. He also looks after work related to WTO, economic cooperation agreements, standardization, promotion of telecom exports, and telecom centers of excellence. TSDSI derives its standing as the telecom SDO of India on the global stage through the backing and advocacy, including financial support of DOT. Sri R.K. Pathak has worked with successive leadership changes in DOT and in TSDSI to ensure that DOT continues to fully support TSDSI in all its endeavors to establish itself as a premier global SDO. If the constitution of TSDSI is the combination of its rules and regulations and working procedures, then Sri Pathak ji is indeed the Dr. Ambedkar of TSDSI. Elections to the offices of TSDSI is at the heart of TSDSI's democratic working. Sri Pathak as the election officer for many years in TSDSI has played a crucial role in ensuring free and fair elections and thereby has earned the trust and confidence of the entire TSDSI membership. So we are delighted to recognize Sri R.K. Pathak as the TSDSI Hall of Fame 2021 in the category of organization building for being a pillar of support for TSDSI from its conception, championing TSDSI within DOT in its formative years, and laying a solid foundation for TSDSI by leading the drafting of its rules, regulations, and working procedures. Sri R.K. Pathak.
Thank you, sir, for introducing Mr. Pathak. Mr. Pathak, could you kindly deliver us acceptance speech, sir?
Thank you, Bindu. Good afternoon. In fact, actually, whatever has been said, I don't deserve all those things because that I did as a part of my duty. So I would like to, good afternoon, Excellency Chief Guest, Dr. Malcolm Johnson. And truly, I think as told by Mr. Goel, he is a friend of India. Respected Sri A.K. Mittal, sir, Member Services, who is a pillar here for the national work. And Chairman TSDSI, we call him NGS. And that's, I realized that really he is a person. We could call him by the name NGS only. Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Dr. Kumar Sivarajan, Abhay Karandikar, these are the names. I think we work together with the present even Executive Director C. Earlier C. And so many our friends in setting up of this organization for India. So I feel humbled to accept this Hall of Fame 2021 on behalf of my department, Department of Telecommunications, and on behalf of TSDSI present and past office bearers, including Secretariat, Ms. Pamela ma'am, and I would just recall that even though I have not been the part of standard, I mean I have never attended any standard development meeting, however I have been part of process through TCOE India, where I happens to be the director and hence even part of the 5G technology trial evaluation from India, which is called 5GI by ITU. So I would like to thank ITU also, because in the year 2005 I attended the first meeting on standardization, and then I realized that what a country has to do, because whatever we feel that whatever is coming out of a standard, that is a standard for me, it's not correct. So we have to contribute in standard development process. We have to represent our country as per the development. And I think we have done this, and now we are 8 years old. So let me recall the year 2013, and that was the 17th Global Standard Collaboration meeting at Jeju. If I remember correctly, then I think Professor Abhay Karandikar was there. And all the participants, they invited India, and eagerly waiting that India will announce their standard development in this meeting. But however, we could not do that at the time. But as per a national policy at that time, DOT recognized TSDSI in the year 2013 itself as a standard development organization for contribution of research based input from India to global standard making process. So I think since then we have a lot of learnings from, one can say, 5GI becoming member of GSC. In the next meeting, 18th itself, when I along with Mr. A.K. Mittal sir, who is right now executive director in TSDSI, but he was the then senior DDG TEC. So we both went to ITSI in 18th meeting of GSC, and then we both clarified what is the role of TEC, what is the role of TSDSI. So that's the, one can say, I will say, a very proud moment for India that in the first meeting itself, we were recognized as a member of GSC. And subsequently, I think it's all the story which everyone knows that become the 3GPP and the 1M2M. And one thing I have to say that standard is a business. It means each country has to invest its human capital, research and innovation, and work with the global SDOs, its own startups, maybe with ITU and similar other forums for incorporation of innovations. So, Excellency, keeping that in mind, I am pleased to share that DOT has in fact constituted this time Technology Innovation Group on 6G in the November 2021, and even the 6 task forces for working on different verticals of technology. I am sure that India will contribute a lot in the years to come, and this new 10 years will be a lot of year of startups from India, decade of startups from India, and I am sure that we will contribute to this international process. And I would like to thank the TSDSI, the jury, and all the participants. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pathak, for your acceptance speech and recounting how TSDSI was formed. The next award, the third category of TSDSI Hall of Fame, Technical Excellence. This year, we could not have any awardee because a suitable candidate could not be found. So with that, we come to the end of the conferring of the awards. I would now request Mr. Malcolm Johnson to kindly deliver an address.
Well, thank you, Bindu. Namaste. Many thanks to Mr. Subramaniam and Professor Goyle for your kind invitation to join this Hall of Fame award ceremony and for your welcome and my introduction. Let me firstly recognize Sri Ashok Kumar Mittal, member of the Digital Communications Commission, and Dr. Raj Kumar Upadhyaya, Executive Director of CDOT, Ms. Pamela Kumar, TSDSI Director General, and the former chairs of TSDSI, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Dr. Kumar Sivarajan, and Professor Abhay Karandikar. Secondly, let me add my congratulations to Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, Director of ITT Madras, and Sri R.K. Pathak, Deputy Director General of the Department of Telecommunications, for their well-deserved Hall of Fame awards, for having done so much to advance and promote the important work of TSDSI worldwide. I wish them every success as they continue to harness digital technical standards to help make our world a better place. I have long been an advocate of the power of international standards to reduce costs through economies of scale, ensure a level playing field to drive competitiveness, and not just for individual businesses, but for the world economy as a whole. Thanks to the Bridging the Standards Gap initiative that I launched in ITU back in 2008, developing countries now account for the largest share of participants and leadership in ITU's standards work. As the world enters its third year of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's a greater need than ever before for standards to underpin the global recovery and to build back better. Increased cooperation and collaboration will be very important, not just between countries, but between different industry sectors and all relevant stakeholders. ITU and TSDSI play an important role in this effort because we both follow a consensus-based approach to standards development, bringing together members from industry, government, academia, and the research community. And this common approach has led to a strong and productive relationship between our two organizations. In 2017, for example, TSDSI was instrumental in securing the adoption of ITU's low mobility large cell requirement for IMT 2020 5G, which is so important for rural communications. More recently, TSDSI successfully submitted one of the 3 radio interface standards on IMT 2020 specifications, 5GI, technologies which form the basis for the implementation of 5G networks around the world. ITU has already started to examine future technology trends for IMT towards 2030 and beyond. This is 6G. We're very pleased to have already had a TSDSI contribution on this. I'd also like to congratulate TSDSI on its Roadmap 2.0, which is a great mix of contemporary, emerging, and futuristic topics. We very much look forward to this contributing to ITU's future output. Through its growing engagement and alliances with various global standards bodies and industry forums, TSDSI has quickly emerged as a highly respected standards development organization on the world stage. This will facilitate the development of standards in India and the promotion of Indian technology around the world. This year, of course, marks the 75th anniversary of India's independence. Since then, the country has become a technology powerhouse, and I'm confident that the upcoming establishment of the ITU South Asian Area Office and the Technology Innovation Center in Delhi will strengthen this collaboration between India and ITU, and also provide a means by which the standards developed in India can be used in the region and around the world. I very much hope that the establishment of this office in Delhi will increase the strong participation of industry from India in the work of ITU. So in closing, I would like to wish TSDSI all success in promoting the development of standards, and that will serve the people of India and people around the world. And congratulate once again the new TSDSI fellows. I wish you all a very happy and a very healthy new year, and I look forward to hopefully meeting up with you all in person during 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson, for those very inspiring words. We look forward to the setting up of the opening of the ITU area office in Delhi and closer collaboration between TSDSI and ITU thereafter. I now request Mr. Ashok Kumar Mittal to kindly deliver the chair's address. Mr. Mittal, sir.
Thank you. First of all, very happy New Year to all of you. It is indeed a proud privilege for me to be part of this proceedings in which you have conferred some awards to the excellent work done by the office bearers of TSDSI. So to start with, I welcome respected Malcolm Marshall, Mr. N.S. Subramaniam, Pamilaji, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy ji, Mr. R.K. Pathak, Mr. Upadhyay, Mr. Kumar. This is indeed a pleasure that TSDSI was formed as a realization of the need in the National Telecom Policy 2012 for an Indian telecom SDO that would serve to promote Indian requirements and promote incorporation of Indian IPR into the global standards. TSDSI provides a platform to the stakeholders from all segments of digital communication domain, including users, to engage in development of standards that can best serve India's requirements. I am happy to note that the impact made by TSDSI in the last 8 years of its existence, notably the 5G standard and its role in adoption of global IoT/M2M standards from 1M2M as India's national standard, apart from publishing technical reports and white papers on a diverse range of technologies and strategic topics like startup engagement, open source technologies, etc. TSDI members' role in influencing development of specification at 3GPP, like advancing adoption of NAVIC to 3GPP release 16, is highly commendable. Similarly, the widely acknowledged contributions by TSDSI member CDOT to the development of 1M2M is also worth noting. After the securing approval of LMLC and then the 5G RIT at ITUR, TSDSI has started contributing to 6G at ITU. TSDSI has emerged as a key partner in defining and steering the technology standards development ecosystem on the national arena. Its workshops and conferences conducted on a wide range of topics are very well attended and serve as vehicles for globally renowned experts to engage in dialogue with Indian experts. All of the above has been made possible due to hard work and dedication of TSDSI members, individuals who have given their time to establish, grow, and leverage TSDSI for voicing India's aspirations in the standards world. India has been very active participant and contributor in development of standards at ITU, the forum where governments from 190 plus countries engage in defining telecom and other technology standards. India, along with TSDSI, has made a deep impact at ITU with LMLC and 5GI. It is only befitting that today's awards were given away by Mr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General ITU. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for sparing valuable time to facilitate the awardees. Congratulations goes to Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy, former chair TSDSI and director IIT Madras, Mr. R.K. Pathak, convener 5G High Level Forum, and DDGIC DOT for being conferred the award of TSDSI Champion and for organization building. The ongoing pandemic era has made us become increasingly technology dependent. India has seen the emergence of several unicorns in the last 2 years. I look forward to India's thriving technology startup community to adopt strategic mindset towards standards-based solutions to help monetize their IP on the global scene. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very inspiring address. And I now request Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, Co-Chair TSDSI Outreach Committee and Executive Director CDOT to kindly propose a vote of thanks and make the closing remarks. Dr. Upadhyay is an officer of the Indian Telecommunication Services of Government of India, is currently serving as the Executive Director at CDOT. His previous assignments include being the Additional Director General and heading of the South Zone of Doordarshan and All India Radio, Deputy Director General in DOT, Advisor Telecom with Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI. Over to you, Dr. Upadhyay.
Namaskar, everyone. Respected dignitaries on the dais, colleagues, and ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thank you, TSDSI, for giving me this opportunity to deliver vote of thanks for this wonderful function. Our heartiest congratulations to Director IIT Madras, Professor Bhaskar Ramamurthy ji, and Deputy Director General DOT, Shri R.K. Pathak ji, for receiving this coveted Hall of Fame Award for the year 2021. First of all, I would like to thank Chief Guest of the function, Deputy Secretary General ITU, respected Malcolm Johnson sir, for sparing your valuable time in gracing this function with your kind presence and agreeing to give away the Hall of Fame Awards for the year 2021. Sir, you have been always a great source of inspiration for all of us. And I remember that you have been extending all the help needed from IITU to this country, to CDOT, to all the organization whenever it is needed. I would also like to thank our respected member services, Digital Communication Commission, Government of India, Shri Ashok Kumar Mittal sir, for agreeing to grace this function and chairing this session. Mittal sir has always been encouraging us to develop standards and patents in the country. My sincere thanks to Chair TSDSI, Shri N.G. Subramaniam ji, for his kind presence in the function and outlining the vision of TSDSI in the beginning of the function. Mr. NGS, as he popularly is known, has been a great source who has been taking TSDSI to next level with his enormous experience and collaborative approach with the industry and all the stakeholders. I also thank all the participants in this function for sparing their time for this momentous occasion. TSDSI has successfully elevated the Indian digital ecosystem into the global standard landscape, bringing the Indian industry and startups, telcos, academia, SDOs, and government and policymakers to a common purpose and a common platform. TSDSI has played an important role in further deepening the industry and SDO engagement through initiatives that drive new technology absorption through pilots, plugfests, testing, certification, advisories, etc., to develop a robust and sustainable ecosystem for 5G, IoT, smart cities, Industry 4.0, and various other solutions. As co-chair of Outreach Committee, I request all those who are not currently engaged with ITI to contribute and participate with TSDSI in its seminars, workshops, various committees. I also request those who have not joined TSDSI to join TSDSI and contribute and participate in actual standardization activities through technical plenaries, partner SDO activities, and much more. I once again thank one and all for making this function so much memorable. Thank you so much. Thank you, one and all. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, Dr. Upadhyay, for making the closing remarks. With that, we come to the end of today's ceremony. Thank you, everybody, for joining us in felicitating the awardees. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Close.